All right, today we're taking a look at a super important tool for anyone who messes with electronics, the VC890D digital multimeter. We're going to do a full guided tour, so let's get into it and see what this thing is all about. Okay, so you look at this thing for the first time, and yeah, it can look a little complicated. You've got all these symbols, this big dial in the middle, a bunch of ports. It's a lot. So, what does this device actually do?
Well, to figure that out, we're going to break it down piece by piece. We're going to uncover what it's really for, and trust me, it's probably simpler than you think.
And you know what? This image right here gives us our first big clue. The answer to what this thing does? It's been hiding in plain sight the whole time, right there in that text.
So, let's translate that text from Vietnamese. It says, high-accuracy electronic measuring device. And that's it. That's the big secret. This thing doesn't create power, it doesn't supply power, it's a super precise tool for measuring it. Basically, you can think of it like a super accurate ruler, but for the invisible world of electricity. Everything about it, its whole reason for being, is just to take really precise measurements. Okay, so now that we know what it is, let's kick off our tour. And the best place to start is right up top with its face, the digital display. So, the first thing that jumps out at you is this big, clear screen. It's designed to be super easy to read, and it shows you up to 4 digits. You get a nice, clean number, no guesswork. That's a huge step up from those old-school analog meters with the swinging needles, right? And right next to that screen, you've got a couple of key buttons. The power button is, pretty self-explanatory. But this hold button? Man, that thing is a lifesaver. You press it, and it just freezes whatever reading is on the screen. It's perfect for when you're trying to measure something in a tight spot and can't actually see the screen while you're doing it.
All right, let's move on to the main event, the command center of this whole thing. I'm talking about that big dial right in the middle. This is pretty much the brains of the operation.
This dial is how you tell the multimeter exactly what you want to measure. Every little click to a new spot completely changes its function. 1 second it's ready for one thing, the next it's set up for something totally different.
And all those weird symbols around the dial, they might look like a secret code, but they're really not. The V is for voltage, A is for amps, which is current. That little horseshoe-looking thing, the omega symbol, omega? That's for resistance, measured in ohms. And F is for capacitance. So, with just a twist of this one dial, you unlock all these different fundamental measurements.
Okay, so if the dial is the brain, then what are the hands? Well, that would be the probes and the ports they plug into. Let's see how these things actually get in there and touch the circuit. So here are the probes. You've got a red one, usually for positive, and a black one, for common or negative. Their job is super simple. They're the pointy ends that you use to safely touch the part of the circuit you want to measure. Now, you can't just plug these in wherever you want. You've got to use the right ports down at the bottom. The black probe pretty much always goes in the COM port. That stands for common. But where the red one goes, well, that depends. Are you measuring voltage or a tiny bit of current? Or a whole lot of current? You've got to pick the right spot. So, we've covered the brains and the hands. But what about the body? Let's talk about the physical design and what makes this thing so practical to have sitting on your workbench.
Here's a good look at it from the front and the back. You'll notice it's usually wrapped in this tough, rubbery case, often in a bright color like this orange. That's not just for looks. It's to protect it from the inevitable bumps and drops that happen when you're working.
And just to give you a sense of its size, we're talking about 188 millimeters tall.
And about 85 millimeters wide. So it's got a nice, solid feel to it. It's big enough to be stable on a bench, but still comfortable enough to hold in your hand.
Oh, and check this out. This is one of those simple little features that's just genius. On the back, it's got a built-in kickstand. You can just pop it out and it props the whole thing up. That tilts the screen right at you, so you can see it perfectly, hands-free while you're working with the probes. So useful.
And last but not least, how do you power this thing? No weird custom power cords to worry about. The whole thing just runs on a standard 9-volt battery. The rectangular kind you can find in pretty much any store. Super convenient. So we've looked at the screen, the dial, the probes, even the kickstand. And when you put it all together, we come right back to where we started. Every single piece of this device, Every feature serves that one single purpose, to be a high-accuracy electronic measuring device.
Think about it. From checking the juice left in a battery to figuring out the resistance in a complex circuit, this one tool makes that invisible world of electricity totally visible. Which really just leaves one question for you. Now that you've had the tour, what's the first thing you'd want to measure?